Hi everyone, and welcome to the tutorial on how to use PrusaControl to slice your STL files for our 3D printer. When you first open PrusaControl, you'll be greeted with an image of the build plate which matches our Prusa i3, and you can click and drag to rotate the display around and use the scroll wheel on the mouse to zoom in and out. To open a model, click on File, Import Model File, and select your model. It will be automatically placed at the center of the build plate, and if I click on the model, we can see some settings on the right hand side which we can change. So we can adjust the position here, or we can drag it around manually. We can change the rotation here, and we can also change the scale. These quick tools on the left will also let you change the scale, this one here, or the rotation around the Z-axis with this one here. Once your model is in the right place, we need to check the printer settings. So the material we print in is Prusa PLA, and we can also select a quality for our model that we want to print. So fast with 0.2mm layer heights is what you would want for most kind of components. But if you have something more detailed like this dragon, it might pay to choose a smaller layer height. We can also change the infill from a hollow shell up to a solid material. So if you're printing a mechanical part, that might be better to print solid. This one here will be okay in the standard 20%. At the bottom left, we can see some warnings saying that the scene is going to be hard to print without supports. So if you have a model which has overhangs, like this chin, or the wings, or even the underside of the body, you're going to need to turn supports on, because the printer can't print in thin air. So if you choose only from build plates, it's going to create supports that will be touching the build plate, but any parts, say between this leg and this wing here, won't have supports in it. So if you choose everywhere, it will put supports in there. It's also telling us that for better adhesion, we should turn brim perimeter on. So this model is only touching the build plate at these 4 feet, so it might get knocked off easily. So if we choose to turn the brim on, it will create a circle around the model which will help it stick to the bed more. Once all of these are done, you can click Generate, which will slice the model into each individual layer and generate a G-code file which we can send to the printer. Okay, and once that is done, it'll tell us some information about our print. So it will take roughly 3 hours and 10 minutes to print, and we'll use about 6.5 meters of filament. So each of those 1 kg rolls that we have has around 300 meters of filament on it. And we can use this slider here to visualize the layers that it's going to print. So the orange is the model, and the green is the infill. Another handy feature that this has is we can add a color change. So say we want to print the head and the tip of the wings in a different color, we can click this plus symbol here, which will tell the printer to pause and prompt you to change the filament at that layer. Once that's all how you want it, we can save our G-code onto the SD card, which can then be taken to the printer.